Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brett,
Reporting for duty.
friend of the show and host of the Strat Chat podcast, Kyle Petty.
Hi, hello, and good day.
We are here, as you can see in the thumbnail and the title. We're here to talk Squid Games, guys. Squid Games, the challenge, the most talked about thing, it seems like, on Twitter right now.
Oh yeah.
Number one on Netflix top 10. Hope everybody had an awesome Thanksgiving weekend, however, and wherever you celebrate. That's why this video is just a little bit later than you would have, but make sure you're liked and subscribed here and on TikTok. Week two, we'll definitely have it up quick, Wednesday or Thursday, I promise you. So guys, what we're gonna do episodes 1 through 5 here. We're not gonna do an episode by episode review this week. Maybe we'll do shorter ones for the episodes next week. Um, Overall thoughts. I thought this was an awesome show. I'm a Squid Games novice. I did not watch the entire series. I did see the first episode or two, so I was familiar with like red light, green light, and a few of the stuff. But obviously, I want to hear from you guys who I know are more, adept in Squid Games, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers are as well. Production value for me was awesome. I love the amount of people. I love the randomness, the chaos of it. We will get into details there. But frankly, guys, I didn't think I was going to like this. I thought it was going to be corny. I thought, like, crap, this is just going to be some crappy knockoff. And I shout out to Netflix. They definitely put the money and the budget into it, and they are getting the buzz. So,
Mhm.
Kyle, brother, as our guest, I want to get your just overall impressions, and we'll get into stuff, and then Brett, and then we'll get into some details here.
Yeah, I love this so much more than I thought I was going to love it too. The challenge is obviously very, very true to what the show was. My biggest concern was that with 456 people, what was the storytelling like going to be like? And was this going to be effective? And I think that they nailed it. Like we're getting to see all these different scenarios with all these different packs of people, which I think is super interesting. But I don't know, you know, to get really granular, Robin Cass, who used to be responsible for the casting of like Big Brother, some of the Amazing Race survivors, things like that, who
Yeah.
was kind of like ousted after like so the stuff that kind of went on like a few years ago.
You got Squid
Um,
Gamed.
yeah, I think that I think she really delivered here. I mean, she's still responsible for the casting of Big Brother Canada, which is like my
She's casting
foundation.
this. She's
Yeah.
Yeah,
casting.
she did. She cast this. Yeah, she also cast the mole and stuff like that. So like, I think that really speaks to her credit. But like, I think that the show is awesome because it stays true to what Squid Game was, despite the fact that I feel like a lot of people on social media have. There's been some criticism if you've watched a little bit, people saying like, "Oh, I feel like we've kind of missed the assignment here." That's not what Squid Game is supposed to be about.
You're right. We should be murdering people, Kyle. Right?
Right. And it's like, get out of here. Like, yes, I understand that the show had a further reaching, rather, like kind of a message here, right? Like the downtrodden being willing to do whatever and like this whole capitalist society. I get all of that. But like, can we just forget all of that for a moment? Because you can't deny that the challenges themselves are fun to watch. They're things that we wanted to play. So like, it's really, really fun to watch people actually do it. I think the show is brilliant.
I mean, I think Squid Games, the original Netflix idea, which I saw, it's like the Hunger Games, that idea,
Mm-hmm.
like these reality shows, Survivor, The Challenge, whatever, where you have to basically strategize, playing games, fight to survive. And I think, at least in the show aspect, like just killing people, I mean, and having high stakes, that's entertaining. And people like that stuff.
Right.
Obviously, reality show, like this one or any of the other ones, you can't kill people. And if you did, like once it's not fiction, I mean, people don't want to watch people get killed. So once it's not fiction, they're
Sure, they don't.
Of
so I
course
mean,
they don't.
this is a good mix. I like the concept of people competing. I mean, people watch sports. So I have like the NFL up right now, and people like watching competition. And this is a competition. The fiction version's a competition. I love the Netflix show, and I love this game show. It's a lot of fun to watch. I love that there is similarities, and I love that there's differences. So I'd love to talk about all of them.
I'm wondering like how many people clicked on this thinking that it was like the new season of Squid Games. People are like, Squid Games? Clicked on it, they're like, wait a second. This isn't the same Squid Games.
Yeah,
That
so
actually happened.
What?
I found out about this show like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I was like, why didn't I know they were making a reality show? Because they cast 456 people. This was an opportunity
Yeah,
to
you
get
missed
on
on
a
this one, bro.
show and compete, and
You
I
missed
missed
it.
it.
You
This
missed
is a
it.
good one for you. We definitely gotta stay on top of season 2 because this is a perfect Brett show. It is the challenges are pretty sound strategy. You know, if you watch the show, like the red light, green light, if you played Mario Party, if you play any of these games, you know how to just stop early. You got time. You don't need to get there
Right.
quick, right? And guess what? You're one of those idiots that like sprinted early. Now everyone knows who the hell you are, right? Like, just do not even let people know your name. Barely let them
Right.
know your number. I'd have my jacket folded up half the time. Like I wouldn't even want people to like associate me with a number.
Cut out. And if you suck on the show or in the confessionals, they can just edit you out because we only know like 10 people that are actually on the show at this point.
We mentioned that, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it, but I thought that they did a great job with the casting, but I think they did a great job with the editing as well. When you have this many people, you're allowed to get away with that trope of like, hey, is someone getting screen time because they're going to make it far or because they're about to go, right? And frankly, I didn't think they gave it away too much. I really didn't
No.
know who was going to stay, who was going to go. I didn't think they were telegraphing that too much. Did you guys, what did you guys feel like the editing on the show? Did you think it was good? Because I did.
I completely agree with that. I could not predict who is going to go when. I don't know why I'm seeing so much of this person. Is it because they're about to go, or is it
Yep.
because they're going to make it to the end? Who knows? You know, because when you look at players like 302, like who knows? I didn't know
Granny
how she was going
302.
to tell. Yeah, you look at 302. I don't know what's happening. When you look at 432, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to get the out of here. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I
Chris
don't
here.
care.
I can't wait for you to go. And you don't know how those things are going to play out. So I think the editing of this and the storytelling ending of it was a really good time. Did a great job with it.
So I don't really know what the strategy was with the editing, especially episode 1. I think the first person we saw was Steven, the guy with the mohawk, and he said something like, "Oh, me and my buddy were here to spend time together, hang out and have fun," and like his buddy's like dead,
Gone.
and
Leaving a half hour into the series.
There was that lady who was like, I need to win this. I need to win this. And then she lost the red light, green light. Pop. Like just gone. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
sorry, lady.
He stood out to me, I guess, and he got confessionals as it went, right, and then he had the alliance and all that. I'm like, so I thought he was getting like a winner edit, but obviously, like what happened? He didn't lay low enough, and he got found out.
Look, I mean, there's a lot of money up for grabs in this show. Every player in the pot is worth $10,000. So by the end of this, I mean, $4.5 million. Like, I mean, I don't know if is it going. I don't think they've explicitly said it yet, but like, are they going to one sole survivor, or like, is this going to be?
So I don't remember from the original Squid Games, but I was watching like a bunch of Squid Games related stuff this week, and apparently in the main show, you don't have to go down to one. I
Yeah.
think multiple people could win, which I didn't even realize at first. So this might be the same thing.
I was kind of thinking that too. I think there could be, it's like you got whoever makes it to the end and can complete the final challenge. And it's obviously they're probably going to go in with like less than 20 people, probably, I would think, before they get to a final or 10 people. I don't know. I like not knowing, frankly. I like that they don't know either because they can't really strategize. Just as we see, like with our cliffhanger, you know, you not always the best thing to group up with your friends. And let's jump into like the challenges. I think that is something that's worth bringing up. So we got a bevy of challenges. There was 3 main challenges. There were a bunch of what they kind of called test of characters slash, I really just call them mini eliminations, like the dorm eliminations. I thought it was a nice mix up of a cadence. It's not like, hey, we know every day or so we're just getting a challenge and that's where the eliminations happen. They are sporadic. They involve things like voting. They involved random chants. They involved environmental things like the telephone, right? So overall, what were your guys' favorite challenges? Like, kind of what were highlights for you?
I love the telephone, honestly. I like all the little inside the room mini games because I guess like in the main show people fought and killed each other. I forgot, but I like that they have that randomness sort of surprise element, and that like with the phone one where they gave him a burger and fries, and then not only was it good, but everyone like rushed him and stole it from him, and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna go get the phone again and eliminate that dude, and then he got screwed and had to get rid of the phone. I love that, and the one with the Jack in the Box too. We can go that one's deep, I think, to
Yeah.
talk about. But then
Yeah.
also Battleship. I love Battleship and how they switched it up.
I kind of like the fact that the challenges are also kind of multi-layered. I think Battleship is a great example of that, Brett, where if you are the captain and lieutenant of a losing team, you're out, right? But also there were actual casualties in the game. If your ship went down and your team, like, you actually were out. Like, it didn't matter if your team won.
Right.
If your boat was sunk, you were done. Like, you
You're
were
done.
out. And that was dynamic because, again, that we talked about 4-3-2. That guy was a aggressive player, a kind of bully character, if you will, and he put himself on the two-person boat thinking that he's going to go and hide out, and he got unlucky and he was out. And it's just one of those things that, like, you really have to take that into account. It turns out the people on the battleship, it was almost good. You had a lot of health bar. Once people knew which direction, obviously they were going to keep hitting it. But as we saw in that middle match, like, they actually ended up saving everyone on their team because they were hitting the battleship and they had a certain amount of turns to actually win the match. So I just like that kind of combination. It shows how you can, even like shows like Survivor and the Challenge, could adapt things like that are like well-known games, like regular people could adapt to, and that was fun for me, and no one had to die for it.
That's interesting. I think that picking the two-man ship, I would think is the best strategy. But if you're not in the two-man, you might as well be in the biggest one.
High risk, high reward, like low risk. You know what I mean? It's basically like you're very fast. It's like a ship, right? You're real fast, but you have no health. It's like a video game type thing. It's supposed to be like a tank type thing where, yeah, they're gonna see you and shoot you, but you could last longer. But like you get hit once, it was out. I mean, it was great because that the randomness is they have to decide. You have to put yourself in. A lot of these people didn't want to volunteer to be one of the leaders because there's a 50-50 shot that you're out regardless of
Mm-hmm.
what happens, right? So again, multi-layered strategy there. Same thing with even the Jack in the Box, right? Like, do you put yourself up there and there's a 1 in 5 chance probably that you're eliminated, or do you leave your fate up to the gods and, like, I hope I didn't piss people off or I wasn't pretty good so far because then I'm out. Like, like 5-6 people went out in that challenge and they had nothing they could do about it.
I wonder if you can
Right.
hide in the bathroom during Jack in the Box. Just like I'm gonna go take shit right now, and
I'm
no
out
one
of here.
numbers. I don't
uh,
exist.
I think they would know the number. um
I think it's also worth mentioning, though, that warships was super fun because this is a dynamic that we had not really seen before in like our reality TV experience. Like, this is something where your game can completely end fully random and not at your own control. Like when you look at like a game like Survivor or Big Brother, or even the Challenge, like you do at least have some say over things that are going on. Like, my social game can maybe stand for me a little bit. Maybe my physical game kind of can like stand for me a little bit. You are literally just chum in open water, like, and that was made that they made that so fun to me because it was like, oh my gosh, like anything can literally happen right now. It doesn't matter. Anything you did before this literally does not matter. It only matters if somebody says you're literally your grid spot. Like,
I agree.
that was awesome to me. I love how this, because you've got 456 players, like we've almost dehumanized the way these games are being played, and like in any other form that would not be celebrated. But I think in this way, like, this has been a lot of fun.
I agree.
Yeah.
Another highlight for me was the cutout mini game with the shapes, right? And the arranging and the strategy involved there.
Yeah.
And that dude that got
Dalgana,
stuck,
whatever that is.
the guy Spencer that got pressured into doing the umbrella. And I have a video of
Oh
him, and I'll probably put it on
God.
our TikTok of when he gets eliminated. It was basically like a mini version of like that Mario Party game, like Crazy Cutters, where you gotta like cut it out, except you had to
Crazy cutters,
lick the
yes.
crap out of it with your tongue and use a toothpick and hope you didn't break it.
Yes.
I mean, there was some suggestive tonguing by some of these people on their little clay squares, and the agony and the bullying, and they tricking that dude into doing the umbrella one and putting
Well,
most of those people up to be eliminated was classic.
they tricked him, but they basically just I mean, they basically bullied him into it because he
Oh,
was
they definitely
clearly the
bullied him.
weakest person of the four. You had 4-3-2 was one of the guys. He's like, no, dude, you're in that line. Do it. We're not budging. And we already saw that this guy was kind of weak in the stomach. He was dry heaving before
Oh
and
my
during
god.
the event. And
So
he's
ridiculous.
like, listen, guys, I'll take the umbrella right now. Not to be weird, but spit on my cookie. Spit on my cookie,
Did
guys.
it all for the coach.
And then you couldn't even help each other. But like honestly, I wouldn't have fucked with that shit anyways. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I don't know. Honestly, I might have punched somebody and dragged him to the umbrella. No
I don't know
rule.
what I would have done in that either, because that what a tricky situation like to be in. Because like, how long do you stick to your guns before you say like, you know what, I gotta get the hell out of here. I don't want to commit to anything. I don't want, or at least not commit to something because I don't want to be eliminated. Um,
I
it's so
am
tricky.
They had
I
two
am
points
it's a
outside.
good transition to like what you're saying, like which people we like, the numbers of who we like. My main takeaway at the end of the day is like kind of a theme you guys are saying is like, guys, like I'm not getting in an alliance. I don't want to be seen grouping up with anybody. I don't want to. I am not going to give my opinion on how we should organize. That's how 330. That was the Asian doctor. Like he was like a surgeon or whatever. He tried to like organize how they would do the voting, and everyone's like, "No, boo! We don't want to organize. We want anarchy." Voted his butt right out. You know what I mean? Like somebody wins an advantage. Oh, now I'm voting you out. I don't want anyone to have an advantage. You know what I mean? It's just
Right.
like I
We
am
can
like
talk about that in a minute, but yeah,
I'm
a lot of
sleeping.
these people want to be they're influencers already, or they're want to be influencers. Like I watched 432. His sole purpose was like he wants to just like build his brand. So he's like, I don't care that I'm out there, I'm being an asshole. I want to bring good TV and build the brand, which is why like if anyone's gonna get recast on a challenge related show, 432 is a shoe in, being like a retired college football player and all that stuff. So brings
No,
the
I
drama.
agree. I agree.
I
Um,
hate that that's true. I hate it.
we'll see him, and then we'll have the cutouts of him. We'll have him like bullying, trying to bully the guy. Don't call me a frat bro. He's like, okay, frat bro. That was our dude who got eliminated by the phone
Okay.
though.
It's
So,
an asshole.
uh, look, I like some of the storylines with some of the people. I like 302 grandma and her son 301. Like that's a funny thing. Now one of them is going to eliminate each other in the next episode. The picnic cliffhanger. Okay, we left off right before our little break about the cliffhanger challenge, and we do like we said offline. We should talk about a little bit more about the Jack in the Box. So, the picnic game that we're got left off with, though, I do want to talk about. I mentioned in an early tease in the episode, like it's not always smart to try to bunch yourselves up. And guess what happens when you go ahead and go make friends, go on a show with your mom? You think you're going to pick them for a picnic. But what we found out here is that they're going to play marbles and they are going to eliminate one of each. So we're going to literally cut this field, it looks like, in half real quick. So, what do you guys think about that? Anyone in particular that's intriguing to you?
I predicted this. I don't know what they were thinking. The moment they were like, "Oh, picnic reward," and pick a partner, right? The moment they said that, I was like, "This is marbles." And if you pick your friend, you're an idiot. And then lo and behold, that's what happened. I think the mom is going to beat the son, and I think the mom is either going to win the show or she's going to get eliminated in the final round.
302.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think mom's going for the long haul. She's
Also
definitely going to
302.
eliminate her child. But I also want to give some credit to Mr. Man, who was left out of this whole thing. No one saw that as a positive thing. And there was that one guy who was left out of the pairing, um, which, and he had no marbles in his basket. So automatically safe just
Mm,
because you dined alone.
Wow.
are we sure? because I don't know, are the rules of the game who has the most marbles? This man has 0 marbles. So he could lose.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Possible.
That's fair. I would not like that though. I'll go on record and say like I think
I
that's
think they should
crap.
let him. Yeah, I think they
Right.
should let him advance for being
Yeah,
a
because it's
loner.
not his fault there was nobody left. You decided to launch this game when we had an odd number of people. Like I shouldn't just be like out so because you miscounted. Like, oh, boo. I wouldn't love
Boo.
that. Yeah, boo.
All the people that are taking risks, though, they're punishing to some extent. I mean, like we can go back to Jack in the Box.
Yeah,
Some of them got eliminated. Some of them got power, but I mean, with that power, they're going to have a target at this point.
That's fair, but did this person decide to take this risk? I can accept if you put your game in jeopardy because you decided to volunteer for whatever you knew this was. This is more of a case of like people didn't choose you or people linked up with other people before you. So it's not even necessarily, I'm going to take that back immediately. It's not necessarily that people didn't choose you, people chose others before you. So should your game end for that reason? That's
Yeah,
kind of crap.
you have no alliances. You suck.
Or maybe you just late. Like we could always just be in an alliance that has an odd number of people, and you just kind of like you took the L. Someone's got to.
I personally think choosing the empty basket is an L. And yeah, I don't think that's like, oh, let me be the one person that takes it and I win. I'm like, no, that's an L because you couldn't find a partner.
I think
Or it could just be fun that maybe we all thought that was an L, but now it was actually a W.
I
I
would have fought somebody in marbles. I don't care.
the only thing I would say about the Jack in the Box as far as like decisions made and what I would do differently is again in the spirit of trying to stay as anonymous as possible and out of the target. If you have to eliminate people, I would be like you, and you, and they'd be like, why? I'm like, I just don't know you. I haven't seen you talking with other people. I don't want to mess up anybody's alliances or like anything like that. I'm just trying to like just play fair game and just go. You know what I mean? Boom. And it's like, yeah, you're obviously gonna piss a couple of random people off, but like, don't intentionally target like the big dogs in some alliances when there's still 70 people left. Right? There's a lot of people that can end up hating you. So I think anonymity is the name of the game. I hope, frankly, that somebody wins who we haven't even got introduced to yet. Like, oh, guess what? Jimmy's been here the whole time. And it
Maybe he
shows like
has,
what Jimmy's
yeah.
been doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Jimmy's just been in the shadows.
So I don't even know what that girl's number is. Is it? I think it's 229, but she was in the shadows. They literally showed Steven from Gambu Gang. He's like, "Oh, I'm laying low. Nobody sees me. I'm just showing my Gambu Gang."
yeah.
And yeah, I think 229 was the girl. She was up there the longest at Jack in the Box. She was crying the whole time. And then not only like the last guy next to her, I think like 130, she just destroyed him. Like he got the advantage. She's like, nope, this guy's gone. And then she took out Steven and Rick. Like she was a nobody until this episode, and she was in the
Well,
bleachers saying like,
they
hey, there's
highlighted the
one.
relationship with 229 and how they have are close and like kind of some of their similarities in life. So I think really like they're gonna 301 and 302, and then like those two are gonna be like the main kind of what we're gonna see as far as like an emotional impact of those eliminations, right? We'll see other people, but I think those are the main two. They are the two they left us off with. So it means I think who we're gonna be picked up with. Um,
Maybe the editing is they just pick like entertaining people and then get rid of them at some point, and then eventually, yeah, the winner we'll finally get the winner's confessional near the finale drop of episodes when there's like 30 people left.
who knows, right? Or just someone they just have like they have showed on camera, but we haven't, like you said, got confessionals yet. Maybe we get a confessional this week, and just to kind of plant the seed. So, look, I think overall, like just from all three of us talking about, it, and we usually all have like different and varying opinions on shows, to all of us have something that we really like, and I think they really did most facets of the show socially. Like you said, Kyle, casting, I'm like the editing, right? The competitions are good, the faithfulness to the show is good. So overall, it's like a big thumbs up for week one. Like I said, we are going to get the week two review out quicker. I think it's only like 3 episodes this week. So we will get those out a little bit more in depth with each episode, obviously, with only 3 to cover.
Mm.
Make sure you check out the Strat Chat Pod. Kyle, what are you guys working on right now?
Yeah, we're still doing Big Brother Australia. We have our exit interviews coming out on Wednesday. That's at 8. And we're also doing the Challenge 39 and Survivor 45. So the challenge is on Thursdays at 9:30. With our week-long recap happening on 10:30 for Big Brother Australia. And then Survivor 45 is on Mondays at 9:30. So like, yeah, we're always live. So like, totally different vibe. But
Go
yeah, come
in,
hang.
join them, join the comment section, chat with them. They'll read your comments. They'll, nice, cool community. I've seen there a lot of regulars who go in there and who frequent the chat. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
For reality, guys, make sure you're checking us out here and on TikTok. Brett, myself, Brian, doing a bunch of stuff on TikTok. The whole crew here doing reviews of everything from the challenge to Amazing Race, Survivor. We are doing any kind of Netflix show that's out there. We're doing Brian's covering Love Island Australia right now. Every episode we just finished up Love Island games, Bravo shows. We got it all covered for you. So just find us on both TikTok and here. You'll be covered. But until the next review coming in a few days for myself, Brett, Kyle, thank you very much for watching. Peace.
Ah!
That's a good one.